Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. This is Jocelyn. I'm going to be talking about our five senses. I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper and kind of give a little bit of a different perspective on them so you can start to see how much of us we really are vibration and light, and how much our body is really just picking up vibrations in our environment and interpreting them to see if it's compatible with ours. Our five senses are really just vibrational monitors that are interpreting everything around us and seeing if it's compatible with our own vibration in our own body, in our own environment. So I talked about Bruce H. Lipton. He has a quote about the receptors on the cells in our bodies. The receptor antennas can also read vibrational energy fields such as light, sound, and radio frequencies. This makes complete sense when you start to really think about each individual sense that we have and what it can do for us. So the first thing that we'll dive into is our sense of sight. Our eyes are interpreting light and vibrations into color and form all around us in our environment. And molecular biology really depends on quantum physics. Like things in the body, like blood, are a specific color because of the specific color of light, of energy and molecules. Humans actually have cryptochrome in our eyes, in our retina, that's sensitive to magnetic fields or blue light. Our eyes have this ability as well to absorb photons of light from the sun, and that's how our bodies get our energy. It's easier for us to get caught up in looking at everything in our environment as just this particle, this form, this matter that's just there. But there's just so much to it. There's so much vibration to it. There's so much energy behind every single thing that we're observing and piecing together through our senses and seeing how well it fits in compatibility with our own vibrational selves. The next thing we're going to go over is smell and kind of taste combined, because these two senses really are pretty much combined. Our sense of smell, what's really fascinating about them, I'm going to dive a little bit more into quantum physics. We talked about quantum tunneling. A quantum entity can tunnel its way through a barrier, which it shouldn't or wouldn't usually be able to. But in protein receptors, tunneling happens all the time, especially in our sense of smell. And it helps us to identify molecules from the way they vibrate. That was said by Philip Ball in his video on quantum biology. There's what's called an olfactory bulb in our nose. Molecules, we think they're smelly. That's how we think of them. That's how we interpret them. They actually smell because they dock onto receptor cells. They trigger a nerve signal. There's a specific receptor on each cell in our olfactory bulb that is familiar with a specific kind of smell, like a banana smell. That's going to vibrate in a very specific way, and it will dock onto a very specific receptor that's just for bananas. So we know what bananas smell like. And we can have millions of those, because think of all the smells that we smell in our environment. That's how many specific little molecules there are in our environment that vibrate in an extremely specific way that our nose, our receptors in our nose can determine which specific cell it is. I just think that is so fascinating. Start to look at it in these different perspectives, and it will really change your whole reality, that everything really is vibrations, and start to think about that as a whole. Think about things that you think smell disgusting. That's really just your body saying, okay, that is not compatible with me, and it vibrates a specific way, and it's really just saying, okay, no, don't go there. It's not compatible with us. That's really what it is, which is kind of amazing. Then let's talk about taste. So like I said, taste and smell are really similar because they're so close together. Taste is actually 80% smell. It's really only 20% of the taste buds in your mouth are tasting something, because you're also smelling it while you eat something. So it really is 80% smell. But it's the same type of principle. We have these taste buds located on our tongue that have these receptors, and it's going to do the same type of thing. It's going to have a specific receptor for different types of food. And this is also how we can tell if food is rotten or it's not good or something. Our vibrational sensors are, again, telling if it's compatible with the environment in our body. Talk about hearing, our sense of sound. Sounds are vibrations with specific wavelengths. Our ears also have receptors that are reading and interpreting the vibrations and energy of each specific sound, which is why music is so important, the type of music that we listen to. When you think about, let's say, a music creator or composer, the vibrational state that they are in is going to be created in the music that they create. That's why different genres of music sound completely different, and they affect us in such different ways. That composer is going to be vibrating at a very specific way from their own brain chemicals, from their own chemistry that's going on in their body. That's why we experience such high emotions from it, because those emotions are really just being transferred into the vibrations of the music. We hear the music through our sense of sound, and then our receptors and our ears are again telling if it's compatible with the vibrational state of our own body. If you are maybe thinking more stressful thoughts, maybe you're going to listen to some screamo music, because that's probably going to be more of a vibrational match to the state that you're already in. And maybe that composer is obviously in that state when they create the music. So it really gives you this different perspective on music, the type of music that we listen to, and how compatible it is to the vibrational state of our bodies, how it's docking onto the receptors, those specific wavelengths and those specific chemicals that are going into everything, and the atoms and the molecules of it. It's so fascinating to look at it that way when you start to look at the atomical and the quantum physical nature of life and all the information that we're perceiving from our environment. Touch is the last one, our sense of touch. And this one's pretty obvious. It's going to be sensing out the main things that we know of. It's going to be sensing temperatures. Specific wavelengths are going to also be correlated with its temperatures. A violet color is probably going to have more of a hotter temperature when it comes to fire or things like that. And then we obviously know that our sense of touch also senses textures. Of course, it senses pain or pleasure. The way that our body is, again, telling if something is going to feel good to our body or if it's going to be very painful. So those ones are really self-explanatory. All of our senses are just vibrational monitors that are seeing if all the things in our outside environment are compatible to the vibrations in our own body. That's just what the content is going to be in this video. It's just about the senses. Hope you tune into the next video. Please like and subscribe if you're liking the information, and I will see you guys next time.